I'm going to talk about being a high value man. It's not enough to just say that you're like a high value person without embodying the traits and the behaviors and the mindsets of someone who is one. So in this video, I'll lay it out step by step of what it means to be a high value person, plus also some actionable things that you guys can take out of it as well so that you can implement it in your day-to-day life. But the overall concept which I'm going to talk about here is being the person that others would bet on. Like, it's not enough to feel confident that you bet on yourself, but it's equally as important to have, like, what are others' view on me and whether or not they would bet on me as well. Because if, let's say, your idol or like your friends, your families were to look at what you're doing on a daily basis, would they bet on that person? Would they bet on you to be successful 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now? If it's not, stick to the very end of this video where I'll lay out step by step on what you can do to change your identity for the better. So I'm gonna go to the whiteboard and write down exactly what is it that you need to do. So stick around to the very end of this video where I'll be clarifying a lot of things that would really help you out. So now, what is a high value man? In my definition, or in simpler terms, a high value man is someone who is competent and can achieve what he wants. Achieve what he wants. And okay, this is really important. Achieve what he wants. Not what society thinks we want, not what your parents say, not what your friends say you should want. It's what you want. Alright? Now, on the journey towards becoming a high value man, it's important, like the way forward to achieve that status is whatever you feel you should improve, you actually follow through. And the reason why I say that is by this definition. What is a high value man? If we flip the opposite of high value, it is low value. And what is a low value man? Someone who cannot provide, someone who cannot make money, someone who lives on the streets, for example. Well, that's technically not really the case. But, whatever that, if let's say you can't achieve your goals, or you don't achieve your goals, you're not a high value person. So, the reason why the most straightforward way towards becoming high value is to constantly improve yourself so that you actually achieve your goals. Now, but the thing here is, society, like, in your eyes, alright, being high value nowadays, like if you see it on YouTube, if you see it on like the internet and so on Instagram, usually high value is not really what you think about yourself, but it's more towards what people think of you. So in order to be truly high value, number one, you cannot disregard people's perceptions or opinions of you entirely. Because, if people don't like you, obviously it's harder to succeed. Whereas if people like you, it's easier to succeed. You want to balance between your perception of yourself and the perception of what other people think of you. So this entire category here, it's yourself, is whether or not you think you're high value. Because believe it or not, if you believe you are high value, then others will more likely to believe that you are high value. It's that conviction you have about yourself that influences how people think of you. But that is only 50% of it. The other 50% of it is whether or not you actually have the substance, which is why I'm going to bring up this portion here right now. So, long-term versus short-term success as a high-value man. Now, the market, all right? The market is the people, the resources that's going to help you to achieve what you want. So the market that this is a quote from, if I'm not mistaken, Warren Buffett. Like, I have to like check it again, but the market is a voting machine short term, but a weighing machine long term. So you want to be the person that others would weigh long term. Like, I'm going to bring up the Andrew Tate example again. Like, if you guys like watch him, if you hate him, like, please bear with me, because this would be a quite reasonable example. So in the short term, like when Andrew Tate first came into the experience, like, people hate him. Like, there's a lot of like hate comments. People think he's a misogynist. People think he's like, this shit really. And although he's rich, all right, which is high value, but a lot of people hate him. So, in the public's opinion, he is kind of douchey, which is low value in other people's perception. But, as the saying goes, the market is a voting machine short term. So in the short term, people might hate you, people might love you. As you pursue things in your life, you will have haters. You will have people dragging you down. You have people who will constantly envy you, and that's why they try to put you down. Cause like, have you ever like experienced you actually start doing something, all of a sudden people like start attacking you, like Amos, like, you haven't done this before. Like, why are you suddenly doing this? Like, I don't really like how you're changing right now. Like, I don't feel comfortable with what you're becoming. And that's usually what happens. So when first Andrew Tate comes to the experience, he has a lot of hate. Although, yeah, a lot of things he say inspires hate, a lot of like negative emotions. But in the short term, everyone was like voting for him in terms of like whether I love him, whether I hate him. But in the long term, like, obviously Andrew Tate does improve along the way. Like, he becomes less polarizing, if you will. I mean, from what I understand about his content. And over the long term, actually a lot of fans love him. He has a lot of fans. And in fact, he's actually making more money from his appearance than ever before. And a lot of the things that he's saying actually is starting to become more true. Because like, the more he explains his thoughts, the more he puts out his content and so on, more people actually trust him. And the more of what he say actually makes sense. If people were to argue with him, it's gonna be hard to, go against him. But, a lot of his old contents isn't exactly true. But, over the long term, like, people start weighing towards his side. Like, currently he's in prison, and then everyone like, starts supporting him and so on. Well, some people still hate him, but the market slowly weighs towards his favor. So be the person. I'm not saying you should become Andrew Tate, but I'm saying that you should be someone that others would want to weigh towards. Now, examples of high value. So how do you become high value in the immediate sense? And what is it that's like, delayed? So the immediate examples of high value is, number one, your appearance. There's a saying like, look rich or be rich. And a lot of billionaires don't actually look rich, but they are rich. So there comes to a point where there is a line. If you have a lot of old clothes, if you actually don't groom yourself well, you look like a total piece of shit, then obviously other people thinks that you're a piece of shit. So unless you're like Warren Buffett or you're Bill Gates or Elon Musk, if you look like shit, it doesn't matter, all right? Because you are rich. You actually know you're a high value man, because you can easily change that. But if you are not super rich, if you are just a normal individual like you, like me and you want to take care of your appearance. Like go to the gym. Like throw away whatever old clothes you have. Groom yourself properly. Make sure your house is clean. Like have some standards for yourself. Have some standards of what you consider attractive to you. Because if you study like persuasion and so on, like Influence, the book by Robert Cialdini, he talks about what determines whether or not someone likes you. Because if someone likes you, the more opportunities you have. So you have to take care of your appearance, because the more attractive you look, the more people will like you and the more opportunity opens up for you. Like a girl would rather choose a clean, handsome and attractive looking person rather than someone who hasn't bathed for 3 days, or someone who has their like room in chaos and everything. So appearance is very, very important. So what else can you get that is immediate? Habits. Or I wouldn't say habits. Habits is more towards delayed. Habits. I'm talking about behaviors. Behaviors like body language. You know, people who are like depressed, like if you see a common theme, like imagine like you have two curtains. Someone who is depressed, someone is not depressed. If you pull up the curtain, how is their body language? Before you even see what's behind the curtain, if you try to guess how their body language is, how does it look like? Slouched over, looking down, like don't even make eye contact, their eyes are drooping, their mouth is like drooping. Although they might try to look happy, but you can obviously tell from their body language that something is off. So you can immediately change your body language, like stretch, open your chest more, raise your head up in the air, project your voice, talk louder, talk slower. Immediate examples of how you can be high value. If you have a more open body language, if you're a guy, your testosterone shoots up by like a certain percentage. So you want to actually pay attention to your body language. Now, what is delayed? And I'm sure delayed is, you guys probably know a lot of them. And probably you think that those are the biggest reasons why you're not high value yet. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video in the first place. Well, if you guys are watching this video, chances are you are on the path towards becoming high value, which is good. So, delayed habits, like what I talk about. Habits is like consistently going to the gym day in, day out for like years. Your body won't change immediately. You have to lift weights for a certain period of time for your body to start looking good. Then there's also skills. You can't be a billionaire or millionaire or make 6 figures immediately. You need to have skills. And there's a learning curve for everything. So no matter how much desire or motivation you have to make more money now, sometimes you won't really get it because it takes time for you to develop the skills, the reputation, the public perception in order to get what you want. So you want to focus on building your skills long term. So it's like, the market's a voting machine. In the short term, the market votes for you based on your appearance, based on how you carry yourself, how you look, the externals. The delayed part is the internal, is the substance. Like this is the substance and this is the public perception. With only public perception, people will only vote for you for a short while. People think you're high value, but you eventually blow it off. But if you're only just high value, like you really, really are competent, but you don't take care of your perception, you sometimes won't even get the foot in the door, or people will even like recognize you, or people would hate you actually. So it's important to take care of both. And that is what it means to be a high value man. You care more about your internal as much as your external. You do not place too much importance on one particular thing. Well, maybe you feel you should improve on your immediate value, and that's something you should go for. But over the long term, you should also not forget about your long-term habits that will make you high value and vice versa. Don't forget about your appearance, and don't forget about the skills and the habits and the mindsets that you're cultivating along the way. Delay knowledge, like pursuing self-improvement. A lot of successful and rich people read a lot of books. Some of them watch Netflix still because Netflix is entertaining, but they actually acquire knowledge on a consistent basis. They listen to people. They listen to interviews. They listen to podcasts. They read books. They selectively, not randomly choose knowledge. They choose the knowledge from the best people and they implement it. And that's the path towards becoming high value. You should improve on the things you actually have to follow through. So if you feel that perception is what you're lacking, focus on perception. If you feel it's the substance that you're lacking, improve on the substance. Well, but for the most part, the substance is going to be much harder to acquire for like 80% of the people who are watching. But at the same time, you also don't want to neglect your appearance as well. That's very important. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys have a clear understanding of what it means to be high value. And if you actually act on this video, like within 6 months from now, a year from now, I promise you'll come back to this video and say, wow, Amos, everything makes sense. Like, this is the structure. This is the model, the mental model of becoming a high value man. Whenever you do something, always remember it all goes down into this: your perception and the substance. Now, if you like this video, subscribe for more content like this. And if you'd like to work with me personally to become your life coach, hit me up in the email below, where I'll be happy to answer any of your questions or have a conversation with you on how I can potentially help you and how I can serve. So till next time, guys, peace.